I'm a late diagnosed autistic man, and here's what an average day feels like. Waking up is tricky. It's a matter of momentum, and this is where you have to generate motion from a standstill. So I found having a routine to start each day with really helps. A routine means I have a plan, a program, a list of instructions on how to be human. It means I don't have to think about what I'm going to do and risk drowning in so many possibilities that the gears in my brain jam. So, here's how I start every day. Get a can of cold Diet Coke from the fridge. This will be the first of many. Take my pills. Antidepressants maybe save my life. A multivitamin makes me feel like I'm being healthy. And being healthy is good because it reminds me I have a future. I make an espresso. Another routine. My brain likes to learn the right or best way to do something, and coffee is perfect for this. A list of tiny, specific tasks that have to be done the right way and in the right order to create something that I like. And then I exercise. When I started learning about autism, one of the aspects that I didn't immediately think applied to me was stimming. Repeated physical movements that provide relief from anxiety. I didn't think I did that. I don't like fidget toys, I don't stroke a favourite fabric, so of course I was wrong. This is what I get from martial arts. Practicing, learning for decades until you can just switch off your brain and let your body find its flow, being totally in the moment, fluid and rhythmic. When I do it right, it feels like dancing. It's a moving meditation, and always, when I've finished, I feel calm. And then a bath, warm, enveloping comfort. Starting my day with a set of steps that are always the same gives me the best chance of being able to continue with the rest of the day, which invariably won't be so predictable. My fragility is reflected in the softness and bagginess of my clothes. If I'm feeling capable and grown up, then I'll wear some nice smart clothes that I probably chose yesterday and laid out last night. But if I'm not doing so good, then it's the official autistic uniform of sweatpants and a big soft hoodie. My work for the day will all be written down in the form of a to-do list. I use an app that mirrors the list on all my devices, so I don't have to worry about remembering or forgetting things. Without the list, it would feel overwhelming. All the tasks arguing in my head, competing for attention, shouting at me so that I can't make sense of any of them and forget them all. The list gives me the structure I need, one by one. All I need to think about is what I'm currently doing. Tick, tick, tick. I like emails and text messaging. It gives me time to make sure I'm saying what I want to say in the way I want to say it. If my phone rings, it feels like a jump scare in a horror movie, and I probably won't answer it, especially if I don't know who it is. If I take the call, I'll have to think on my feet, in the moment. They'll want answers right now. Decisions, opinions. My brain cannot process information that quickly. I need time to consider things, otherwise I'll mess it up. I try to avoid news online and things like Facebook. It's hard to describe what social media feels like to my neurodiverse mind. I interpret information and stimulus differently, so every headline, every quote, every comment lodges itself in my head with equal volume and will stay there, ready to repeat itself hours, days, weeks, years later when I least expect it and have the lowest chance of handling it. The internet can often feel like a crowd of people who know too much about you, all yelling insults. If we're lucky, I'll remember to have lunch. When I'm low, I comfort eat. So if I'm not feeling low, if I'm feeling clear-headed and confident, then I'll eat healthily and feel like a grown-up. But otherwise, I might well fall into the habit of yellow, carby, childish, comforting food, which 10 minutes after I finish eating it will make me feel huge amounts of shame, which in turn will make me want chocolate. If I have time, I'll try to do some writing in the afternoon. More coffee will help with the smothering imposter syndrome. When I sit down to write, I feel almost embarrassed, like someone doing a bad impersonation of a writer. There's a lot of "who do you think you're kidding" running around in the back of my brain. But if I can work through that, then there's usually a fleeting sense of genuine achievement when I click save. It's momentary, but it's there. Now it's getting to the time of day when I have to start thinking about tonight's gig. If it's a new venue, I will have checked out where it is on Google Maps, worked out the route I'll take to get there, and used Google Street View so that I know what the route looks like. If plans have changed, even if it's only a tiny change, it often feels like the most colossal existential setback. My chest tightens, I get panicky, angry, then I get guilt about the anger. Then, half an hour later, after drowning in obsession over it, I'll realise it doesn't really affect me at all and I'll move on, with more guilt about that, of course. My stage costume I also will have chosen yesterday. What I love about formal menswear is that it's based on rules, learnable things. I will have picked out my outfit to fit the gig I'm doing. I would never risk deciding what to wear just before I have to put it on and leave for work. Too many times I've tried to get dressed, not like what I'm wearing, tried something else, liked it less, tried something else, and on, my heart rate getting faster, flop sweat on my forehead, making worse and worse choices, the clock ticking down to when I have to leave the house until I end up in a heap on the floor wailing just because my brain wasn't able to say, "That's fine, that'll do." So I plan ahead of time to avoid, the wailing. Then it's time to leave for work, which means navigating the outside world. The outside world, which is made for people without an autistic brain. When people say that autism is a disability, this is often what they mean. Navigating a world built by and for people whose brains don't work the same as mine is disabling. Being at home is easy mode. The outside world is hard mode. It's full of uncertainty. Bustling strangers, fizzing lights that hurt my eyes, sharp sudden sounds that make me flinch, the unpredictable, the overwhelming. For someone who isn't autistic, this is all just the joyful hubbub of the world, all these things mixed together into a background of hectic humanity. But the autistic brain perceives it differently. I don't hear a hubbub. I hear every noise clearly and loudly. I can make out every single conversation, individually and involuntarily. I don't see a crowd. I see every detail on every individual person. My brain prioritizing them all as equally important, whether I want it to or not. A fire hose of a million minute details that my mind is forcing me to pay equal attention to. It's exhausting. It feels constricting, squeezing me on the inside. I feel my fingernails digging into my hands as I ball my fists without meaning to. My shoulders hunch, everything tenses, I have to work on my breathing. That feeling in your chest when you realize you left your bag on the train, it's like that. That feeling when you're almost crying and you can feel it right at the top of your throat, that too, except no crying. That would be a release. I take the edge off with the official autistic everyday carry of dark glasses and noise-cancelling headphones. And then I hope to find my regular favourite seat on the train where I can barricade myself into my own little space with my suitcase. And then I get to the venue, and the choppy seas in my head flatten out a little bit. The chances are it's a safe, familiar space. I know where everything is, I know where to go, and backstage I will be given a running order that neatly maps out the next few hours of my life. Routine, structure, clarity, and a dressing room that is quiet and calm and mine. I know it seems weird for someone who doesn't like noise, lights, lots of people and the unexpected to make a living on stage, but oddly, it's one of the few places where I feel truly relaxed. When I'm performing, I know what I'm doing. I feel like the most capable version of myself, I guess because the thing I'm being capable at is incredibly specific. On stage, I love the unexpected, the improvised tangent, the moment-to-moment dialogue with the audience. Off stage, all of those things are quite frightening to me. On the way home, a little of that confidence stays with me. But, like the stage sweat under my suit, the endorphins cool down and evaporate after a while, and the noise-cancelling headphones find their way back onto my head. When I get home, there's a sense of small achievement, of relief, like I've completed a level and can save my game. I'll have a cocktail. I have one cocktail every day. There's a joke about autism leaving the body after one drink and then returning with friends after the third. Sometimes I worry about drinking too much, but the autistic mind loves habit, so the contentment I get from having one drink per day usually beats any desire to have a second. And this is the best part of my day, when I feel the most centred, the safest of places with the best person and the feeling of having done something. And then bedtime. In bed, I do the most middle-aged thing in my life, a crossword. I read somewhere that it's good for neuroplasticity, but I find it's also good for putting my brain into a nice calm state and stopping it from replaying all the glorious micro-traumas from my day over and over. And that's an average day. That's my average day. Everyone is different. Like the saying goes, if you've met one autistic person, then you've met one autistic person. Being autistic doesn't define me. I do that for myself. It's not all of me, but it's not nothing. It gets a seat at all the meetings. It's got a lot of shares in the company, you know? For me, it's not the superpower that some people call it, but at the same time, I'm not sure that I would have the life I do have without it. It's not something I carry with me, it's me. Sometimes it helps with the carrying, and sometimes it feels like a heavy, dead weight. I'm still learning about it. Still learning about myself. But then again, aren't we all? Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that. Just before you go, normally this would be the time when I would ask you to subscribe to my channel and maybe share this video with your friends, which I would totally love you to do. But today there's something a little bit special. My debut book, published by Faber and Faber, is out this year. The Magic in You, it's a compendium of amazing things that you can learn to do. From baffling magic tricks to incredible circus skills, hilarious comedy, sneaky spy tricks and mind-blowing science experiments. Everything from picking locks to levitating. Yes, really. But while you're mastering all these amazing skills, you'll also be learning how to be smarter, kinder, more creative, more confident and more empowered to be whatever and whoever it is that you want to be. It's ideal for anyone over the age of 9, so if you like amazing tricks with a big side order of self-help, then you can pre-order it now at all your usual book buying places. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, hope you're doing okay, I'll see you next time.